Greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet. Today we are going to talk about political campaign messaging. Now, for the better part, the last 20 years, pretty much every politician has run along some kind of similar popular slogan for their campaign, all of which acknowledge that America today is a little janky, but it can get better. Obama started with all the hope and the change. And, well, we all hoped, and the only thing that changed was that we could get sent to jail if we didn't buy private medical insurance. And then, of course, Trump came along with Make America Great Again, and really the only two things that increased were the national debt and the number of black people that are getting lynched in public parks. And now we got Joe Biden, who wants to build back better, i.e., we're not in a great place. Now, as Americans, we are very good at revisionist history. We only, follow the parts of the Bible that we think should apply to us or to other people. We only agree that the parts of history that really happened are the parts that we agree with and make us feel better about ourselves. It's just kind of our whole culture. So, yeah, I guess America might not, be totally awesome, but it's still amazing and we can get it even better. And that has pretty much been where all the politicians have been for the last 20 years. Enter the 2022 and 2024 political races, and it looks like the Republicans have come out of the gate first with messaging and a slogan that they can all get behind. So today I want to take a quick look at what that is, what it sounds like, and what it means for a totally seemingly going to be awesome and not horrid political season that is rapidly coming upon us. Yeah, get ready, folks. This one's not good either. Here we go! America is not racist becomes the GOP 2024 mantra. Lightning rod issues such as critical race theory and defund the police are a staple for Republican contenders. Wow, gee, you know how much I hate to be the kind of person to say I told you so, but I feel like I've been telling y'all that this exact shit was going to happen because the Republicans literally cannot help themselves, have absolutely no plan, and thus no messaging. So they were just going to lean in on what Democrats have considered to be a solid base and force everybody to make a decision based on polar opposites. Oh, there's no middle anymore. That's right. You either think that America is racist or you think America is not racist. That's right. There's going to be no gray area left in the race conversation by the time we get to the end of 2023. Every last person in America is going to be forced by politicians to decide if they think America is wholly racist or not racist at all. There is no longer any middle ground. There is no granular analysis. There is no discussion. Nope, it's an all or nothing issue. The GOP and conservatives are going to put the thumb screws to centrists, to apolitical people, and yes, to even white liberals for them to decide which side of the aisle they fall on when it comes to American racism. The mantra used by nearly all of the Republican contenders is unavoidable in the earliest stages of the GOP's nominating campaign. At the annual Family Leadership Summit in Iowa this month, all three political presidential prospects on stage, former VP Mike Pence, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and Governor of South Dakota Kristi Noem, took turns joining in the refrain in one form or another. This is something that they have been test driving for a while, and they have decided that it checks all the boxes. It's simple, it's easy, and ultimately, it's going to force people to make a decision not along political lines, but along social lines and even your own personal beliefs. They don't want people voting on the issues because, again, the Republican plan is to not make businesses pay taxes, to tax the shit out of everybody, to keep running wars all over the world so that we can secure resources for the 500 highest paying corporate donors in the United States. Lather, rinse, repeat. It's a pretty shit platform, and it really doesn't get a lot of traction now that our economy is ridiculously hammered. So rather than, coming out with some messaging about, hey, we want to fix the economy. Hey, we want to get better jobs. Hey, we want to get higher wages for people so that there's a higher quality of living. No, they're going to go with, so are you racist? Because if you're not racist, you should vote Republican. Top Democrats, including President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, have said publicly they don't believe America is a racist country. But Republicans are hoping to portray the party as out of step with the thinking of mainstream America. And by attempting to harness lightning rod issues such as critical race theory and defund the police, the GOP is signaling race will again be at the center of the 2024 campaign. Now, to be fair, during the 2020 election, even though Joe Biden ran on Build Back Better, race was a central part of their election, if for no other reason than because Donald Trump was such a blatantly racist shitbag that they had to hit him on it. The Biden campaign wasn't so much about voting for Biden as it was about voting against Donald Trump and voting out his brand of extreme vocal racism. And 80 million plus people came out and voted for Joe Biden, so obviously it worked. Quote, it's a winning issue with independents and it's good for the base, but I really think rank and file American voters who are in the middle, whether you're center left, center right, suburban, parents, I think they all feel like America's not a racist nation. Critical race theory is being shoved down everybody's throat. I think this is a case of the Democrats going way too far, and I think it's a very effective issue. And sadly, this quote is correct. It is a very efficient issue. And again, to be fair, it's not like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Nancy Pelosi are all looking to defund the police and make critical race theory a thing in every school. Because both of those are just hyperbolic tropes that conservatives have been pumping up for years. They're literally not teaching CRT in a single school anywhere in the United States of America. You have to get to like level 3,000 sociology, anthropology, child development courses in fucking college before you get to CRT, okay? You get to CRT at the point where people are paying $30,000 a year to go to school. It's not a public school thing. Defund the police? That's mostly people like me, the far left, the radical left. Now, I know the Republicans want you to believe that the radical left is Nancy Pelosi, the landlord with $80 million. I assure you, she's not our spokesperson. But yes, people like me, we're the ones who say you should defund the shit out of the police. Why? Because we've spent the last half a century defunding fire departments, defunding hospitals, defunding all sorts of social services. Also, we could keep giving the police more money. By forcing Democrats to defund the rhetoric of the left, the Republicans hope to tap into a vein of discontent that is already surfacing in the suburbs, where debates over racial equity initiatives in schools and the focus on systemic racism are roiling parents. Quote, this is not a close call. This is Defund the Police 2.0. It really is the best kind of campaign slogan you can come up with. You're not making any promises. You're not giving out any solid platform ideas, no initiatives. You are putting the onus back on the voter. Normally, hundreds of millions of voters go to politicians and say, okay, America's fucked up. What are you going to do? What's your plan to fix it? How are you going to make my life better? And politicians spend the better part of a year and a half going around the country answering those questions. The Republicans have completely taken that away from the voters, both the left and the right, with this trope. Instead, when you show up to a rally to ask a politician, hey, you're going to go up, hey, excuse me, Mr. Politician, I got a question for you. And he's going to say, are you racist? Be like, what? No, I'm not racist. I want to ask you about taxes. Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure because you see, if you're not a racist, you have to vote for me because those other people over there, they say you're racist just because you're white. You're like, really? I didn't know they said that. Are you racist? Well, no. Excellent, then I can count on your vote. Thank you very much. Out the door. Welcome to the 2024 general election, kids. For Republican primary voters, the issue is a no-brainer. Public polling shows Republicans are paying more attention to critical race theory than Democrats, and they view it more negatively, making it a highly effective instrument in the party's culture wars. In a Fox News poll last month, a majority of Republicans, when asked how things work in America today, said minorities are favored over whites. And the GOP's own polling has convinced many Republican candidates that they can make inroads with independent voters by characterizing Democrats as overly focused on race. Now, of course, the part over here that's really going to throw you for a loop is that, again, CRT isn't in schools, and literally no actual Democrats are calling to defund the police because they love the police because the police defend private property and they love private property. No. The reason that all of this is getting thrown at these mainstream Democratic candidates is because of a concerted marketing effort, which looks a little something like this. Fox News has mentioned critical race theory nearly 1,300 times since March. Oh, that's right. Fox News mentions critical race theory every 9 minutes, 24 hours a day. So even though people have no idea what critical race theory is, what CRT is, they just run around and go, CRT's horrible. They're teaching CRT to our kids. These are the same people who 4 years ago were calling everybody Marxists. However, that kind of ran out of gas when everybody turned around and said, dude, what's Marxism? And they went, Marxism! CRT, it's a lot easier. You could say it is a black and white issue, and thus far simpler to market and put people on the spot and force them to make a decision. Are you racist? Well, if you're not racist, I guess you're going to have to vote for the Republicans because the Democrats say you're a racist. Ed Rogers, a veteran Republican lobbyist and strategist, said that, quote, if you take middle-of-the-road, sort of marginally involved voters, they don't want to be told they're a racist. For those voters, it may be reassuring for a presidential contender to tell them that they aren't racist. One Republican strategist who attended the RGA meeting said that the assertion that America is not a racist country works because it evokes, quote, part of what Trump's counter was when he was on the rise. It was simple. Make America great again. Proud to be an American. It's not approaching every problem in America as if we did something wrong. We're awful. So what does this mean for you, the average viewer, the average voter? Well, what it means is, for the next 2 years, you're going to get a lot of conservatives wagging a finger in your face and demanding to know if you're racist. Of course, this entire thing is bullshit. Republicans have made it a simple wedge issue because they don't want to discuss the granular specifics of systemic racism, or the fact that it's real, or the fact that it consistently oppresses non-white, non-Christian, non-heterosexual, non-men every single day in this nation. But again, I know you as a viewer just listened to me say that sentence, and part of you inside got angry, and you might not even understand why. And that is what Republicans are counting on. So you got two choices in 2024, people. You can either just do this and avoid every last person with a microphone or a raised finger or a raised tone in their voice so you don't get put on the spot, or you can do what I'm going to do, which is continue to have the hard, difficult, granular conversations that involve context and nuance and are extremely draining to have, because it is really the only viable option for somebody like me. Hopefully, some of you out there still got a little left in the gas tank to keep having the important conversations, because if we don't, these chuckle fucks and their horrible on-the-spot marketing question are going to end up sweeping the government in 2022 and 2024. And after that happens, everybody who's been predicting a similar 1931 Germany sort of thing, well, they're going to have their theories put hard to the test. And frankly, I'd rather not find out the hard way. Until next time, my name is James. I am from the internet and I am out. Peace.